the echo, and the voice. I can be left in peace with my loved ones now, alone in solitude. I was married for 10 years, had 2 children, a boy and a girl, and did love them immensely. All was well for half of those 10 years, until a day came that I made a decision that changed my life for the years to come. I was sorting out my emails on my computer in my study, deleting spam mail and reading the important ones, when my gaze met an ad that read, "Chat with New Ladies Live." I had looked at this particular ad for 30 seconds before I resolved to delete junk mail, and just as I was ready to click the close button, a soothing, seductive voice that sounded like a woman's whispered in my ear. The voice said to me, "It's better for you if you click that ad. Those women will never grow old and always be with you." The voice's words were too tempting to ignore, so I went through it. I clicked the ad for the site. One small sample won't hurt, right? And besides, it's not cheating if I were to actually meet these women in person. The ad brought me to a cam girl website, and right away I noticed the homepage was littered with images of naked and half-naked ladies. My mind started to become animalistic as I scanned the thumbnails of each live feed, my mouth watering like a ravenous beast about to catch its prey. The raunchy images alone aroused me, and excitedly I pondered which woman I should meet first. I made my decision, and clicked on the thumbnail of a one Candy Cathy, and was put in the middle of a live striptease, and I began to make myself ready for sensual succulence. Her live show ended after I had been there for 10 minutes. It was exquisite, but alas, I needed more. I had to find that high once again, to feel that angelic warmth called to me, and I had to have it. Therefore, I deemed a hop from live feed to live feed, and then I elected to visit the many famous pornography sites. I made certain to require my fill, whenever I could, when my wife was at work or asleep, and when my children were at school and in bed. I felt one with these women. This was my virtual brothel, and I soaked in as much sensual pleasure that I could. Nearly a month passed, and my wife eventually caught on to my drastic shift in behavior. I knew it would happen eventually, and well, I had been beginning to feel comatose to it. I resolved to come clean to her today when it came time to talk. But the ladies always called to me, their piercing gaze beckoning me to them. My wife walked into my study, softly putting her hands on my shoulders, and asked me, in that sweet voice of hers, "My love, are you well?" I turned my head to the right to meet her eyes, putting down my book on my desk, and replied with, "I'm fine, dear. Why do you ask?" She then frowned and put on a concerning tone, responding as thus, "I'm worried about you, hon. You've been spending so much time on your computer and phone, rarely paying me or the children any attention. Something in you has broken." Her words were gut-wrenching. She was right, and I needed to make things right this moment. I was about to open my mouth to come clean until the same seductive voice whispered in my ear once again, "She does not love you anymore. This bitch wants to prevent you from obtaining the ultimate high and real happiness. She will grow old and may leave you. Your children will die and learn to despise you. But the women I have shown you will never betray you. You don't need your family any longer." "Darling, are you going to say anything?" The whore's words snapped me back to the present time, and I met her eyes and stood up from my chair. Grinning and placing my left hand on this woman's cheek, I eased her worries. "All is in order, my love. I've just had a lot on my mind, and work's been rough lately. She smiles and tells me she loves me as she turns to walk out of my study. I sit here now, writing this in my journal, in my study. I knew what I had to do to maintain my nirvana. The voice told me to be rid of my family, so I took a blade to their throats and then chopped them up into pieces. To you who are reading this, I hope you can understand why I did this, and why it was imperative that I had to claim what is mine. Blood seems to work just as well as ink. Why waste time finding a pen when I can use one of my wife's fingers? There's something sentimental about writing with my wife's blood. I must get back to that beautiful virtual brothel. The ladies beckon my presence. Greetings, everybody. I hope you're all doing well, and I do hope you all enjoyed this story. This one was of my own design, and writing it brought me back to a pretty dark place in my life, but it was therapeutic for me to write it. Please feel free to let me know what you thought of it in the comments section below. I know this must hit home for a lot of you for what it encompasses. And I hope this time my audio sounds better. Everything, music isn't as loud. I'm still getting used to this narration thing on YouTube. It's been a long time since I've done anything on YouTube. Anything at all with this. So anyway, if you did enjoy the story, please tell your friends, tell the neighbor down the street, tell that person you see as you walk to work, and just hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you do not miss an update. And if you have any stories that you wish me to read of yours, horrifying or sci-fi with thrilling, true, fictional, feel free to send them to me in the email I shall put in the description below and in the pinned comment. So, I leave with that. And keep in mind, in the dark, when you think you're alone, you're not. I'm there in the shadows, waiting, watching.